Hey, thanks so much for downloading the episode. On the show today, we get our nerd on. We talk a little Avengers EndGame, a little Game of Thrones, even a little Big Bang Theory, and then we talk about house renovation. And did producer Dub and I survive the weekend of replacing baseboards? You will get to find out on this episode. Thank you so much. ShopLipandClip.com. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
Rub your nose in this, asshole!
Paula?
I could hold these things between my breasts if I wanted to.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the ugly truth.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 367.
Oh, we are Sisters Who Podcast.
Yes, we are. Now, this is dropping on May 1st. The lusty month of May is here.
It's May. It's May.
The lusty month of May.
Is that from Camelot? Is that where you get it?
Yes.
Okay.
I love that movie. I love Camelot.
I know.
I am not a big fan of musicals, but there are a handful that I really do enjoy. Camelot is one of them.
You know, to be honest, I don't, maybe I have seen the musical, but I know most of the songs because Dad had the album.
Dad loved Camelot.
Go freaking figure.
Well, what's funny is...
It's about cheating.
I know. Our parents they are of the generation, they were very young when it happened, but they were alive when JFK was assassinated.
Yes.
And so our parents were obsessed with the political atmosphere back then, which is very similar to what we're actually seeing. Very similar, actually.
It'll be interesting when we're older and then we actually look back, because right now it just seems like it just seems like a clusterfuck of embarrassment. But
if you take the Twitter out of it, the stuff that's going on in DC is very interesting and compelling, and it's dramatic to some degree, but it's just a really fascinating time in political history. And our parents were very fascinated with politics back in the 60s because they lived through the ERA and desegregation and all of that stuff. And so when they were together, they had a library and they just had a shit ton of books. And our dad got half of all the political books. And so they had all the books on everything.
Where did all that stuff go?
Our dad has it. Our mom lives like a Trojan. Everything she can fit on the back of a shield. He took everything. He's got everything. But anyway, I don't even know what any of that has to do with anything. What were we even talking about? I don't even know. What was the point of all of it?
Hold on. It'll come to me.
We
were talking about books and our
Camelot.
parents.
We were talking
Camelot.
about Jesus fucking Christ.
Wait, how did you come up with books and our parents?
Because I said our dad liked Camelot, and Camelot was the theme for the JFK presidency. So
was it?
Yes. Oh my God, it's so strange. Anyway,
why? Because he was a cheater?
No, because Camelot was this idyllic place for a very short period of time. Everything was perfect for a very short period of time. Oh, with like the Knights
of the Round Table and...
Well, whatever. It was just... Camelot was idyllic for this very brief window of time where everything was perfect and everyone was happy and everything was wonderful, but nothing lasts forever, so...
Exactly.
Anyway, and JFK loved Camelot. Okay, so it is episode 367. A lot has been going on in the world of pop culture. I have been very open with my superficial nerd status or geek or whatever. I don't know. There's actually a difference, but I don't really care right now. So we saw the Avengers EndGame over the weekend. Mm-hmm. Did your son like it?
Victor and Ryan went and saw it. They started talking about it. I was listening to them, and it sounded like they were talking in a foreign language.
Okay.
And so I was just like, okay, I'm tuning out because I'm getting like frustrated because I don't know what you guys are talking about. And the only thing I asked Ryan was, did you cry at the end? And he said he did tear up a bit.
Yeah. I cried through the whole thing. I did. I have not seen all, 20 films or however many films were. There's so many that you had to see to get all the nuanced things. But I've seen enough to know who everybody is. I know that they've been building up to this for almost 11 years. 11 years. So I knew that this would be the final for the OG Avengers, which is Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, Scarlett Johansson's one, which I can never remember what her freaking name is.
Black Widow.
I always want to say Poison Ivy. I know that's wrong.
No,
Hawkeye.
that's from Batman.
You know, all those guys, the old ones, the originals.
Yeah.
So with that, I definitely have to say it was very satisfying. The stuff that I cried at was just more human. It wasn't superhero-y.
Yeah, you know what? Ryan did say that. He says that there were some troubling things.
Troubling?
Or things that were like just sad.
Yeah. I mean, there was, and it wasn't just death per se. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I could tell you stuff and it wouldn't matter because you don't even know what I'm talking about. So it's
well, don't say anything because I mean, it's still only a week fresh.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
Of course. Please. And it was funny. I was listening to a show the other day and they said the definition of spoiler has changed significantly since the old days. Spoiler used to be this is how the movie ends. And now it's like so nuanced that you can't, it's almost impossible to spoil a whole movie because the ending isn't the finale anymore. There's spoilers all throughout the entire thing, right? So you could spoil one thing and you still wouldn't spoil the movie.
Well, I would imagine, yeah, in this movie, because you've got, what, like 15 characters or something like that? So you can,
so many.
In fact, Chris Pratt, he posted on Instagram, he took a video with his phone, even though they were forbidden from taking videos. And he's just like, fuck it. That was so cool.
It was the most amazing thing to see. He had all the Avengers.
All the people, yeah. And they were, I think it must have been like a dress rehearsal because they were wearing regular clothes. But
yes.
Their makeup was all on.
Well, I will say, I know there's only one scene where they're all together and it's at the end. And so that's when they were probably shooting that scene.
Probably.
There were so many great scenes and, you know, of course I didn't weep, but I did cry because there's a lot of parent stuff. And so that kind of did it. And then at the end, when I thought it was over, it wasn't over. There were still like 15 more minutes. And that whole scene, there was a passing of the torch scene, and that made me kind of cry. But even though I didn't have much invested in it, it's still very cool. So I loved it. And we went on Sunday with Tyler and his girlfriend and me and Malia and Daryl. So the family that could go, we all went. And of course we get out, and Tyler is so funny. He takes a long time to digest stuff. So we got it. He goes, well, I hated it. I'm like, what? I'm like, how could you even say that?
Was he angry? Is that what it was?
You know, he really loved Infinity War more, which is the one before this one. And I think we figured it out with him. He wants there to be a sacrifice so significant that it hurts your soul. And this one was more satisfying. There was some sacrifices, but it didn't hurt your soul.
Right.
So you weren't going to get that. It was going to be satisfying, though, and it absolutely was. So, highly recommend it. I think you would even like it, Paula, because you've seen enough of the Marvel movies through your kids that you would absolutely enjoy it. It is long.
I've seen a ton of them. Jesus.
You've probably seen more than me, because I haven't seen any Captain Americas from beginning to end.
I've seen a ton of the Captain Americas, and then I've seen like 3 of just the regular Marvel ones.
Yeah.
With Iron Man. And then I've actually seen just regular Iron Mans.
I love the Iron Man movies. Personally, I like them. I didn't realize how important they were until I saw the last 2, EndGame and Infinity War. Both, they're kind of important. But
and how the fuck is Robert Downey Jr. still doing this shit? He is old.
I know. But he's got
adorable, though. Good night.
You know what, Paula? I just adore him. And I love his story, how he was a full-on addict and got his shit together twice. And then finally got it together, and now he's this megastar, like a megastar.
Oh, he's huge.
I can't wait to see what happens with him in the future. You know, he's not too old to act. He can, you know, he's going to keep on keeping on, and who knows?
I wonder if he's going to be like an Al Pacino or something like that, you know?
I don't know, but he's pretty good. He's pretty great. And I loved him in Sherlock Holmes, too, by the way. He's great in that
wonder
movie.
if he'll ever get like an Academy Award. Has he or no?
I thought he was nominated for Charlie Chaplin, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure. But anyway.
I forgot about that movie.
On top of Avengers EndGame, this was the first big Game of Thrones weekend.
Yes.
The episode was The War.
you know what? I've never seen an episode in my life, but I have been reading all week and weekend that it was just 90 minutes of solid war.
It wasn't. There was some good stuff. It was very dark, and there was a lot of complaining about the filming being dark.
I did hear that they showed what it looked like, and I'm just like, damn, that is dark.
It was dark, but it was an artistic take. They wanted it to be like, this is what it would be like for all of them. They would have a hard time, figuring out what's the what. Like, and I said, I appreciate it, but, maybe we could just pretend so we can actually see people and know that they're not killing each other versus killing the ice people.
Start the initial scene that way, but then lighten it.
Maybe just a little lighting. So it was really good. There was a lot of touching moments. We lost some characters that inevitably we knew we were going to lose. Mm-hmm. I have to admit that it was 90 minutes. So it was way longer than your average Game of Thrones episode. Mm-hmm. And it felt like a movie. I was a teeny bit disappointed because a lot of the characters who we were sure and we were prepared to say goodbye to survived. And it was weird. It was weird. Okay. It was almost like, why did they all live? We were all prepared to say goodbye to all these people, and they're here. They somehow made it. There were a couple that were amazing, though. Some of the losses were amazing to see, and they got a great send-off. They were heroes. I mean, I even did like the TD sign. I'm like, touchdown, she kicks ass! Stuff like that. So,
did I hear there was like an epic sex scene, or is that not true?
That was last week. That was the week before.
Okay.
Yes, that was epic.
They're known for their sex scenes, I think.
This one didn't have any nudity because when because she's 18 in real life, and when she started filming this, she was 8. Or something. And so that would be kind of weird to show somebody who basically grew up on set and show her boobs. So we got side boob, and that was it. And that was fine. But she didn't want to die a virgin. I can understand. I mean, I wouldn't want to die a virgin. That'd be horrible.
Yeah, but I mean, your first time sucks anyway.
I know, but at least
it's all relative. It doesn't matter.
I don't know, Paula. If I thought I was facing certain death, I'd be like, if I have the opportunity to get laid, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And I
guess if I had my choice of who I got to do it with,
which she did,
okay, then that makes a difference.
He was ridiculousy sexy.
Like if it was like Jason Momoa, I'd be like, go ahead, destroy me,
destroy me before they can.
Right?
Yes, no kidding. It's like I want to be walking bow-legged when out there killing giants.
Go ahead, split me in half.
Jesus, it's like don't mind me. No kidding. So funny. But yeah, so I saw a little meme that said, be kind to your nerd friends. It's been a rough week. Because there was so much going on.
Speaking of nerdom,
yes.
I don't know why I've been on Instagram so much, but
it's
Big
fun.
Bang Theory had their final read. Did you see that?
Yes, I follow it.
Okay, so
there's only 3 episodes left.
Casey, well, they read their finale.
Yes, I know. I follow Kaylee Cuoco, and I actually follow them all. Yeah.
I do too. And so Kaylee Cuoco, her last script was covered in tissues.
Yes.
Because obviously she sobbed through the whole thing. But then I saw a picture of Johnny Galecki. Mm-hmm. He was like off in a corner and he had his fingers pinched on his nose and eyes because he was crying.
You know what? 12 years together, and they are coming. They have made TV history.
Well, and I kind of feel like they grew up together.
Well, sure.
Because they were really young when they started.
Very. In fact, if you watch the first season, Kaylee Cuoco looks like a child. Well, she was.
She still is. I mean, how old is she? Like 32?
Not even. Like I don't even think she's 30. 32.
She's got to be at least that age. Hold on, let me look. She's got to be. Because, I mean, it was 12 years, right?
Producer, go to the files. How old is Kaylee Cuoco? Oh, wait. We don't have one. Never mind. We don't have a producer. She was born in 1985. So she's 33.
That doesn't help me.
She's 30,
okay, so
she's 33.
So she was 21 when the show started?
Yes, she was very young. Well, she was in 8 Simple Rules, remember?
Oh, that's right.
And she was truly a child then. So.
Oh, Johnny Galecki's 43.
Yes. And they dated.
Wow.
They dated long ago.
So he was significantly older than her.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's Hollywood. I met Johnny Galecki. Did I tell you that?
Yes, because you have a massive crush on him.
I did. And, well, it's not like it would be if it was, who's that other guy that I really like so bad? He's on Arrested Development. Why can't I remember his name?
Jason Bateman?
Oh, my God. I had such a crush on Jason Bateman.
Who doesn't?
Really?
God.
Oh my God.
Of course he was like the disgusting, guy in Juno, but I was so hot for him.
Oh my God. He was so good in Juno. He's
like, I mean, why do you come here, Juno? And I was just like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, he was a really nice douchebag in Juno.
Oh God. But then I was starting to think, that's like pedophilia and she's pregnant. Oh, well, you're gross.
That is so disgusting. No, he was really, really funny in The Sweetest Thing, which is one of my most favorite movies of all time.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh my God, Paula. It is so good. Anyway, so yes, Big Bang Theory is coming to an end. I'm actually ready for it to come to an end. I've been a fan since the beginning, and it's so funny with Big Bang Theory is you either love the show or you hate the show. There's no in between. There's no like, it's all right. I love the show, and I don't care about the naysayers saying it's this or that. I think it's very funny, and it's very well done, and Bill Prady is a genius. I think he'll be right up there with Norman Lear and all those people. He's so good at that stuff. And I'm glad it's coming to an end. They're 40-plus-year-olds living in an apartment. It's like, that's not even realistic anymore. So we need to move them on. And
they're in Los Angeles or like Thousand Oaks or something
Pasadena.
Like that. Oh, Pasadena.
Yeah, they all work at the college there. So
I have
it's time.
Not a theory. I have a prediction.
What?
On the ending.
Oh.
I think all 3 girls are going to end up pregnant.
Well, Bernadette's already had 2, and her husband had a vasectomy, so that's not happening.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So that's not happening. Obviously, you are not a regular watcher, or you would have known all of that already.
Sorry, I missed that part.
I think the way things are going right now, my prediction is that Sheldon will get, because they're up for a Nobel Prize right now. So I think that I think Sheldon's going to get his Nobel Prize. I think that they will have either start or have a baby. I'm kind of hoping for a little bit of a time jump, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, it seemed like Amy was pretty interested in it. So
yeah,
Amy was up for the Nobel Prize too.
They are together. Yeah, they are together. So I think they're going to get their prize. I don't think that's going to be the finale, though. I think it's going to kind of come back to the very beginning. Somehow they're going to bring it back to how it all started somehow. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're going to do that symbolic thing where they're moving out of the apartment, they shut the light off, and that's the end, or what. But I'm very excited to see the ending, and I'm hoping I'll be surprised. I'm hoping I'm being completely shocked.
Yeah,
within the confines of a sitcom, of course. It should be funny.
It's got to have like Will Wheaton in it, and
Wheaton, yes,
and Stewart, and
they'll all get their adieus, and then I think it's going to end with Kaylee Cuoco, Leonard, and Sheldon. I think it'll end with the 3 of them somehow, because that's how it started.
Oh my God, it's already making me want to cry.
What? I didn't realize you were such a fan.
Well, I mean, we weren't, and then Ryan started watching it, and then, once you start watching it, it's just so freaking hilarious.
I think it's very funny.
You can't miss it. And so I actually... I have 6 episodes in the queue.
Oh.
So it's probably the one where maybe he gets a vasectomy or something like that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, well, that was last season, I think. Anyway, yes.
Oh, maybe he already
Well,
did.
I have all the DVDs. You're welcome to borrow them if you'd like.
Oh, okay.
So, because Daryl buys them every time the season ends, he gets the DVDs. So
why does he do that? I mean,
because
it's literally everywhere.
I'll tell you why.
It will always be everywhere.
I'll tell you why, because I love the show. And so he wants to make sure that I always have the access to the show whenever I want.
Right.
Okay, so enough nerd stuff, although I love it, of course. And I wish we were one of those podcasts that only recapped really super popular stuff because we'd be like number 1, but we don't. So find those on your podcast player and listen to those.
We do what we like.
We do what we want. And we'll say whatever we want because we have the microphones.
Exactly.
Okay, so as you were at my house over the weekend and you saw that we are renovating our dining room. Mm-hmm. And it's starting to come together, I would say.
Yeah, I like the color you picked. It's white.
It's a pretty creamy white. It's not a bright white.
Yeah, no, it's cream.
Paula, I never thought I'd be one of those people who stood at the paint store and was trying to decide what white to pick. But that's
Jamie,
who I've become.
When we had our house and we were thinking about painting, I can't tell you how many strips we had. And then ultimately the color we picked, it was like the same color that people like model homes paint their house. It's like a very generic color. And I'm just like, you mean I sat here for like an hour looking at strips only to pick Wise Owl, which is what everyone picks?
Yeah. It's so bad. So Daryl, and of course, I think he's terrible at everything. So he picks up this piece of paper that's white and he goes, what about this? I go, no. Look at how red that is. And he's
that's like custodian closet
he's
white
like,
or
what?
something.
And he goes, what? He goes, what about this? I'm like, that's too green. And I'm like, okay, I'm being too artistic about this. I just need to find something. And so finally we picked the white. So that's the white that's on the wall. And so we have been to Lowe's 3 times in 2 days. Since even when you were at our house, because we need new baseboards because the baseboards had to be ripped out. The whole reason that we're redoing this dining room is because one of the cats, when we moved in, decided that the dining room was going to be where they shit and pee.
Yeah, right.
Even though we have 2, and now we have 5 litter boxes. This cat still decides to go in the same spot in the living room or in the dining room, has ruined the baseboards and even the sheetrock. So we have removed the sheetrock, the baseboards. We've enzyme treated this place, and we're hoping that'll stop it. And of course, this morning we wake up to a pile of shit in the same fucking corner. So I have bought
Was the litter box there?
No. And so I have purchased a litter box that doesn't look like a litter box that will be in that room, so you won't be able to tell that it's a litter box, but it will be there.
Why didn't you get one of those like faux plants?
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Wait till you see it. It doesn't even look like anything. I said, hey, what do you think about my new plant?
I thought about getting one of those.
It's perfect for apartments, first of all, because if you have a cat, you can't put it's hard to put the litter box in the bathroom. It's the worst. So putting it out in the living room, it's disgusting. So
I have a litter box in the middle of my bedroom right now.
I know. Trust me. It is impossible to find a decent place for a litter box.
It was the only way I could get Toby to stop pooping in my room.
That's exactly
on the floor.
Right, which is exactly why I purchased this litter box. So anyway, we had taken out all the baseboards to replace them. And I said, I don't want to replace the baseboards and not deal with the issue at hand, which is this cat's habit. And so...
Is it Angelica?
I think so. We can't... Okay. We're not sure unless we set up a night camera. We just can't figure it out.
You should. That'd be funny.
Oh, God, I'd be so angry if I saw that film.
You should get one of those hunter's camera where it only activates with motion.
I would be so furious to see a cat taking a dump in my dining room. I'd be like, kill it! Put its head on a spike! As a warning, I would be so mad.
Just like Velcro it to the kitchen table's leg and point it directly at the litter box.
Rub your nose in this, asshole! So I said, look, if we're going to do this, we need to treat the walls and then let's just paint it and just do the thing. Because the house is painted in colors we hate. I mean, we've only been here for 5 years and have not put a paint on anything. So we decided, like, all right, let's just go for it. So we painted all the walls, as you saw, after an hour of debating over white. And then finally decided on getting baseboards and all that stuff. Paula, we went to the freaking Lowe's 3 times in 2 days. And we were leaving last night. And I said, this feeling of dread that I have over my body right now that's been going on for a couple of days because I've been to Lowe's so many times in 48 hours. It reminds me of when my dad used to make us go to Lumberjack with him.
Oh, God. The most exciting thing there was when they had the little container of ladybugs.
I said, I was walking out, I go, God, I feel like I'm 8 again. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, I just feel like, oh, God, my dad used to drag us to Lumberjack every goddamn weekend.
Why?
Every goddamn weekend, we had to get in the car and in his truck and go to Lumberjack, which was the local hardware store, so he could buy pallets of redwood, and God only knows what other tools or items that he needed. I was telling Daryl, I said, yes, we all had to go to Lumberjack, and I go, and as sure as shit, someone always got hurt. Someone,
fell off somewhere or knocked over a plant and there was dirt all over the place.
And because nobody was watching us and we were awkward and we were just awkward children. And so we were always falling. And I remember someone would fall and be like, don't tell anyone. Oh my God, stop crying, stop crying, stop crying, stop crying.
I know. Seriously.
Constantly.
And of course I couldn't fall or do anything without wetting my pants. And so of course you could see a wet spot in my butt. And you know how Dad felt about me wetting my pants.
Oh my God, I forgot that you couldn't keep it in your pants.
Well, it wasn't me though. It was that urethra problem I had. But he got so pissed off every time I wet my pants. I remember we'd try and change my shorts and try and make him look like the exact shorts that I had so he wouldn't spank me if he found out that I had wet my pants.
I forgot about that. Oh my God. Yeah. So, I really don't know. But all I remember is that whenever we would go, someone would get hurt, someone would spill something, and he just couldn't even with us. And I'm like, now looking back, I'm like, why would you haul 4 little girls to Lumberjack? Why would you do that?
He was probably just waiting to seize an opportunity to beat us.
No, he didn't beat us there. We never got beaten in public.
Oh,
ever.
no, but he would just, he would do the thing where he'd be like, I'm going to spank you when we get home. And then he wouldn't do it. And so we think at the first 5 minutes, if it didn't happen, we think maybe he forgot. And then 2 hours later, you get the shit beat out of you. Yes. And he'd be like, no, you thought I forgot? Oh. It's just like, God damn it.
I know, it's true. But anyway, back to
he was a cruel individual.
Yes. So now I go, and I'm like, I hate my life. I hate it here. I hate it. I don't even want to be here anymore. And I hate Home Depot even more because it's the colors of Lumberjack.
Oh, the orange.
I hate it. And Daryl he'll dick around in that store for hours. I'm like, I got to get the fuck out of here, man. I'm like,
the only reason why we do Home Depot is it's cheaper than Lowe's.
Is it?
It is. Lowe's is a lot more expensive, to us at least. But.
So we're on our way home, and we have our baseboards. And because Daryl doesn't have his truck yet. And so
I was like, how are you hauling those?
Well, the Acura.
Those things are long.
They're 12 feet long. And the Acura, the back seats fold, and they can go all the way. You can literally, if the baseboards are touching the windshield, only like a foot is sticking out of the trunk, and you just put the little red flag on it and drop it. It's no big deal. Okay. But they aren't secure because they're not on top of the car, so you kind of have to hold them so they don't slide out.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm holding them, and Daryl keeps going, well, let me do it. I'm like, why? He's like, well, I just don't want you to have to do it. I go, you think I can't hold baseboards from sliding out of this car? And so he's like, no, I just don't want you to have to do anything. I'm like, why? So I'm veal, so I have to rely on you my whole life? He's like, what's happening? He's like, what are you talking about? He goes, I want to tell you that's dumb, but it's mean to say.
Did you have gloves on at least?
No, what? No.
Well, what if they went sliding fast and you cut your hand or something?
Well, it didn't happen. I successfully held 3 pieces of wood 2 miles to our home.
Girl, listen, I'm used to holding things between my hands.
Right?
I could hold these things between my breasts if I wanted to.
And they would be just fine. And so we were sitting in silence on our way home, and I said, I don't know about you, but I'm really grateful that we moved into a home that didn't need a lot of reno work. And he goes, why is that? I go, we can't even replace baseboards, and we hate each other right now. I said, I don't even know if we could survive it. I really don't. He goes, you want to build a house from the ground up? I go, well, I'm not doing the building. No. We're just going to supervise it. I'm not going to go to Lowe's every 10 minutes and buy more wood.
Someone draws the plans, someone charges by the square foot, and that's just how it is.
And I'm writing the check, and I'll be like, call me when the keys are done. Anyway, so he's like, he goes, I really just don't know how to respond to that. I go, I'm just feeling like you're trying to control me right now, and I really don't like it. And he's like, okay, and his face was absolute shock and confusion. He's like, I don't understand. I go, look, I don't know. I'm just feeling it like you're trying to control me or not manipulate, but, keep me under your thumb. And he's like, wow, no, I'm not doing that. You know what? You just go to Lowe's by yourself. How about? And cause I know you can do it. And I'm like, no, you can come. He's like, I don't want to.
And you guys were getting what?
Baseboards. And a door handle.
Did he either A, have too much testosterone in his system from the man trip?
That's what I'm going with. Or
B, are you PMSing?
I'm on the rag.
Okay. So it could be a combination of both.
Oh, it was absolutely a tornado and a hurricane.
I was just going to say, maybe you guys should sleep in different rooms for a little while.
Well, it's getting back to normal. We're calming down. Here's the thing.
You guys are getting back on the same cycle.
We are. I have to tell you, Paula, that I've had 2 irregular periods in 3 months, and I'm worried that I'm going into menopause. I'm terrified.
You're not.
I'm way too young for premenopause, but
of course.
But still, I Googled all of it, and I said, well, I Googled this. And of course, poor Daryl. I said, well, I Googled all the symptoms for premenopause. He's like, oh, God. He just like looks up in the air. And I said, he's like, you don't have premenopause. I'm like, you don't know my life. He goes, okay. So what are the symptoms then? And I said, well, dry vagina. He goes, okay, that's not true. And I said, no, I don't have that. But I'm just saying it's a symptom. And I said, extreme PMS. And he goes, all right. And I said,
you've always had that.
I've always been extreme. And I said, irregular periods. He's like, Jamie, 2 irregular periods does not mean you have irregular periods.
And define irregular, like
Right.
off by a couple days?
Yeah, like a week. And so
That is not irregular. Irregular means like you miss it for 6 months. Or
oh my
something.
God. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know, Paula. I'm just very in tune with my body. When things are off, I know it. And so
Even when I was trying to get pregnant with Olivia, I had my period like every other month. And
oh my God. That's irregular.
Dr. Chan said he wouldn't even define that as irregular. He
Oh.
says irregular would be like not having a period for like, 4 months and then getting a period. He says that would be considered irregular.
Well, see, I learn something new every day.
No, being off by a week is not.
I really thought I wasn't going to have a period this month. I really did.
It's just dumb, but
It is dumb. Anyway, so I am not Dale bred yet.
no, you're not.
We are not done with the dining room quite yet. We've ordered a new light for the area. And okay, so if you've listened to the podcast, you have heard me discuss the chalkboard in the dining room.
Extensively.
Now, a few years ago when we first moved in, we had a pseudo housewarming party. I have always wanted a big chalkboard in my dining room. I love the look of it. I don't know why. I just think it's kind of cool. And I wanted it in a really fancy framed thing on the wall. And so I bought this really fancy ceiling, what is that? Crown molding.
Yeah.
And I painted it this beautiful champagne metallic color. And I was going to do it myself and hang it up. Well, Daryl decided to take it upon himself and do it for me, and he did a horrible job. And it is one of the tent poles in our marriage where whenever it's discussed, a fight breaks out because
Right.
I get really angry because it's like if he had done it perfectly, going back to our dad, our father did everything perfectly. Everything was
Right.
done perfectly. And so I think that's kind of why I'm like that when I do tasks it's perfection or it's nothing. And so I prefer to do it myself.
It's usually done right the first time too.
Exactly. And that's me. That's the way I do everything. And it's not a good thing when people are not perfect, which makes you become a control freak, which is exactly
Right.
what I am. And I think I'm getting better, but not really because I have a lot of judgment in my brain. So he did it. And I was so angry the night of the party. I couldn't be near him. I couldn't even be in the room to look at the shit job. It was horrible. So it's all.
I remember when I came upstairs and I'm just like, what's wrong? And you almost started crying telling me about it.
I was, yes.
And I was like, what?
You're
I
like-
couldn't figure out what you were talking
You're like,
about.
are you and Daryl all right? Is this a deal breaker for you? Did he cheat on you?
You weren't even making sense because I was like, what chalkboard? I'm
was
like,
so
what?
mad. You're like, is chalkboard a thing? Is it a woman? I don't understand.
You're like,
you know?
on the wall. I'm like, what?
I've never been so mad. It's a symbol of everything. And so it came down. And to ensure that this doesn't happen a second time, let me tell you, he's so nervous whenever we talk about this thing. Mm-hmm. We went out and bought a $200 miter saw so that the angles will be perfect.
Wow.
And we bought the baseboards. There is always this underlying tension. And I said, you want to get the baseboard, you want to get the border for the chalkboard too. And he goes, I don't really want to do that yet. And I said, all right, fine. So we've got the baseboards. He's going to get those all set and put in. And I turned to him last night and I said, I want you to practice. I can't even say it without laughing now because I was so mad when I said it. I'm like, I want you to practice on the old boards before you touch anything with that saw.
Seriously.
We can't even talk about the chalkboard. And so he mentioned, he goes, hey, I was thinking, why don't we get those little squares that we can put in the corner of every corner on the chalkboard, and that way we don't have to cut anything, and we can just nail up, the border. And I looked at him, and I said, I've thought of that. I want it angled. I want it done right. He's like,
You want it to look like a picture frame.
I want it to look the way I want it, the way it should have been the first time. All right, that's fine. It's good. Okay.
I did the same exact thing on my big mirror in my bathroom.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I glued them on there.
Yeah, you can do that. And
it was a hack that I saw on one of the HGTV things.
Yes.
And I'm just like, that's a really cool idea. So I did it.
So I don't know. It's almost like we're both, it's just, there's so much tension when the chalkboard comes up that I can't wait for it to be over. And I'm sure he really can't wait for this to be over, you know? But now here we are.
It's like me and Victor with the Rice Krispie treats. It's just...
Everybody has something.
We can't discuss it, you know, because I was just so angry.
Paula, I just
remember him shouting in my face, fine! Because I was so mad.
It's the weirdest thing. I have never been more angry at him than that evening. It was unbelievable.
And you know what's stupid is...
It was
the same exact thing is he was just trying to help, and I'm like, I don't want your help! I can do it!
don't. It's like, stop undermining me. I know what I am doing. I know what I'm doing, and I have a plan. And it's just very difficult. And because Daryl's a control freak too. And the thing that, and we've been in arguments about this where I'm like, I have a really great idea, and then he tries to take it over. And it causes more grief for him than anyone. Because I'm like, I go, why? And I've said this so many times. I'm like, why do you make me be an asshole to you? Like, why can't you just leave me alone with my thing? Because he's like, because it's fun, it'd be fun. And I'm like, no fun will be had. This is my project.
What I started doing is I just stopped. I just kept quiet and I just started doing things. And but then if he catches me like in the act, he'll be like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. You know, I feel like I have to hide. Like if I'm trying to do something,
it's
you know,
true.
Not even a big project, you know.
I know.
Like, you know, if I'm trying to take out the garbage because I want the garbage taken out and I don't feel like asking him to do it at that moment. But I'm sick of it being there. And so I'll just like, quietly try and, I feel like I'm sneaking around.
I know, because you don't want their assistance.
But all of a sudden they hear the plastic and the bin open. And you're just like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing.
None of
like,
your
are you taking the
business.
garbage out? I was going to do that. Here, just give it to me. And I'm just like, I can take the garbage out. But it's my job.
God, I've had that argument with Daryl. How funny. He's like, there's only a few things that I'm allowed to do without any insistence. And it's this. Let me do my thing. Anyway, so
do we have some ugly and awkward moments?
We do.
Today?
We have ugly and awkward moments. I didn't really mean to talk about the renovation and Lumberjack so much.
That's all right.
These are more about movie dates.
Oh, okay.
So these are ugly and awkward moment date edition. I went on a date that was going really well when I got hit with just this massive wave of nausea. I excused myself politely and very quickly speed walked to the bathroom. It was honestly the worst diarrhea I've ever had in my life.
Wait, nausea and then they had diarrhea?
Yes. Every time I think I could get up, I got hit with another wave. I didn't know exactly how long I'd been in there, but it was a while. Eventually, she had a waiter check in on me. He asked if I needed help, but he must have known that what was going on. I told him I was fine, and he very gently said, okay, well, I think your friend is going to leave now. And I said that it was probably for the best. So she left.
Oh my! I wonder if she
restaurant.
had food poisoning or something.
I don't know, but
I would be mortified.
Paula, I would never call that person again.
I would ask like a fellow female person to get like a female usher and then like have her write a note and just say, I'm really sick. I'm leaving. I'm so sorry. I'll call you later. And
yeah, because this is obviously pre-cell phone.
And then like just pretend like I left and just stay in the bathroom as long as I had to.
I would be like, excuse me, very nice person. Can you buy me some Pepto-Bismol?
What would you do? Yeah, this is probably
know.
even before the time of Uber. Like, how did they get home?
Well, I'm sure you call someone and they got picked up. But, I mean, can you imagine being in the bathroom at a public restaurant just puking, peeing out of your butt?
having to use a payphone.
Oh my God.
Call you. I'm at the movies. I have horrible diarrhea. Can you come get me? I was on a date, but he left.
Oh my God. That's when you're grateful you have family. Because there's no friend that you know well enough that you can say, dude, I have bad diarrhea for an hour at this restaurant. I'm dying. I'm sure of it.
Bring
Please
the Imodium.
Can you bring me some? Can you bring me a pair of sweats and a ride? Help.
If you're like, Mom, you're holding your butt crack as you're walking out the door.
Speed walking to the toilet. God, I've seen that a million times. Okay, here's the second one. It was my third week of college, and I had really hit it off with this girl in one of my classes. We decided to meet up for dinner one night in the middle of the week. But anyway, I got there a few minutes before she did, and when she came in, we were chatting, and then when she sat down, she farted really loud. Like, unavoidably loud. She excused herself to go to the bathroom, and she never came back.
She probably was mortified.
It says, I'm now a senior, and we haven't talked since that evening.
I wonder if he's bumped into her then.
Well, if they went to the same school, college, I'm sure you... I don't know about you, but if that happened to me, I would find a way to never see them again. Never.
I would tell all my friends, I'm like, that's the girl that farted really loudly on our first date.
Guys, you remember that girl? She farted so loud. Some guys find it respect. They get mad respect for that. They're like, I have mad respect for her, man. But others would be like, I can't have sex with her. I'll always think of the fart.
Why would someone have mad respect for someone who farted so loud at a restaurant just as you're sitting down?
Because guys are gross. That's why.
I mean, what the hell did she eat? They hadn't even eaten yet.
Okay, Miss IBS, don't you think maybe it was nerves? I mean, it could have been anything.
Okay, when I'm going to go on a date, I don't eat anything the whole day.
Oh, Paula, I'm practically dehydrated. I don't eat or drink a thing. I am shaved from head to toe. I am perfumed and powdered.
Just to ensure that I don't have sex, I'm unshaved from head to toe.
Oh, I see.
And
so you create your own diversion by not shaving your area so that you're like, no one's going to see this. Actually,
I wear the ugliest underwear I can find.
Right. Yes.
And
so I guess it's bad to sleep on the first date is what you're saying?
Shut up.
Like we've never done it. Oh, speaking of, and then we need to say goodbye for this for this show. But I was reading an article because you know how there's a measles outbreak right now because of people are stupid.
Because the anti-vaxxers won't vaccinate their children, but they're more than happy to give measles or mumps or whatever to babies.
Not to mention
that can't get the vaccination because they're too young.
Yeah, and not to mention if you ask these same stupid women, and they're all white, by the way, not to be that person, but they are, damn well better believe that their dog has vaccines. So that's all I'm saying. Anyway, so now they're saying that the older generation may need to get a booster shot because if they got the measles vaccine before 1963, that strain of measles doesn't exist anymore, and that this new strain is a little different and that they might be susceptible. So I'm calling on our parents and saying, go get the measles booster. And I even did some research. If you get the booster and you really don't need it, it's not going to hurt you. You'll just get a slight fever and a sore arm, but nothing bad will happen. So if you happen to have parents over the age of 60, it's definitely something to discuss with them because it will kill them. It will kill them, I think. If they're compromised in any way, it could kill them.
They always say, major illnesses or infections and things like that, the most susceptible are infants and the elderly.
Right. You know what, and if you listen to this show and you're an anti-vaxxer, fuck you and fuck the Jenny McCarthy dick you wrote in on. I hate you. I hate you because I know people who can't get them and you are screwing with them, and that is unacceptable in this world to me.
I just can't understand what the hang up is.
I don't either. It's absolutely it's uneducated, panic fueled bullshit. I hate it.
You would trust a doctor in any other circumstance.
Yeah.
Why just this one area? You do not.
It reminds me of those people who talk shit about the police and then call 911
immediately.
I mean,
when something goes wrong.
You fucking hypocrite. Anyway, all right. Well, on that note, check on your parents. Tell them to get the shot. Just give me the shot. Give her the shot. She only had to wait till 10. It's 10.
Oh,
Well, I was just gonna get
that movie
to it.
makes me so sad.
Oh, Paul, it kills me. It kills me.
I couldn't fathom something like that.
I would be worse. I would be physically accosting people if they couldn't give my daughter the shot. Seriously accosting them.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Terrible.
All right. Go see Endgame. Go see Endgame. Watch Big Bang Theory.
Watch the Big Bang Theory. Start watching Game of Throngs.
Yes, Game of Thongs.
Game of Thongs. That's on Skinamax.
That's on Pornhub.
Oh, never mind. We'll talk about it another time.
What?
Pornhub had this thing about bees. Did you see that?
Well, I don't go to Pornhub regularly. But
No,
what?
it was an article, and it
what?
said that they actually had a specific section that it was something about like screwing bees or something like that.
People screw
But
bees?
No, it was.
Oh.
They were doing it because they were educating people on bees, and they had partnered with something to teach people how beneficial bees are and why they're important and everything like that.
So they put it on Pornhub because they get so many millions of views.
And so they said, like, if you actually click on this link, it will take you to Pornhub, but it will also, but it's not pornography. It's actually was educational.
It's their section.
It was an educational segment.
You know what?
On bees.
That is brilliant.
I'll have to find the link. I posted it on my page. I'll
look for it. I'll look for it. Okay. Actually, now I'm thinking of all these other things I want to talk to you about, but we'll wait till next week.
Yeah, we'll
Sunday
talk about
show.
them on Sunday.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Please do your shopping through our website. You can go to uglytruth.com and click on the Amazon button. Also, please be sure to visit lipandclip.com and get all your makeup and skincare needs met there. Other than that, have a fabulous rest of your week, and we will see you on Sunday. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.